I welcome back to the third session of mine, in which I will discuss some miscellaneous points and relevant points of taxation. In my first lecture, I discussed with you optional taxation scheme. In my second lecture, I discussed with you the way of furnishing return through my new portal, which every SSC has to use, incometax.gov.in. And now in this third lecture, let me discuss some relevant and miscellaneous points. So it will be a small discussion. And I would like to cover relevant points which you will need or which you must remember. So for this, let me share with you my pen tablet. So this is the third session of mine, and let me discuss some miscellaneous points of taxation. So first point is that which I have already discussed, that whenever you get any arrear, whenever you get any arrear of salary, try to compute relief under section 89(1). Try to compute that relief. It is possible that you will get tax savings if you try to compute this arrear of salary, relief under section 89. Second point, long-term capital gain under section 112A. That is not new. That is only for your knowledge, that whenever you sell any shares, listed shares, so whatever long-term capital gain you earn, on that gain till 1 lakh, it is tax-free, and over and above 1 lakh, that gain on sale of listed equity shares over and above 1 lakh long-term gain is taxable at a flat rate of 10%. That is only for the knowledge. Third point, you must be having fixed deposits. Most of the people have fixed deposits. Whatever interest income is there on fixed deposits, some of the people don't show this interest income in their income tax return filing. They think that interest income on FD is not taxable. It is wrong. It is a wrong conception if they have in their mind. So if you also think that interest on FD is not taxable and there is no need for you to disclose that interest income, answer is no. You you must disclose interest on FD in your income statement, because if you don't disclose now, the softwares of tax department will easily catch that information, and then you have to face penalty as well as tax liabilities, extra tax liabilities. So if you're not disclosing FD interest income in your return, please don't forget to show this in your income tax returns. Next, these are only brief points. Return dates, relevant return dates. Now, for us, the relevant previous year is 2021, which is going on. Now, return is known as original return. So this is the first return, which is known as original return under section 139, subsection 1 of the Income Tax Act. It has to be filed by 31st July 2021. But because of COVID, this date is increased, and now it is 30th September. So you have 2 months extra to file this original return, main return, you can say, of the previous year 2021 by 30th September 2020. In case you don't file this return by this date, maybe because of some reasons you are not in a position to file the return, then you can file belated return. That is known as belated return. And normally the belated return date is 9 months from the end of the 31st month. So it is 31st December. It is section 139(4). It is 31st December 2021. But this is also increased to 31st Jan 2022. But after this date, do remember that you cannot file your return income of this year. You cannot file. Even if you have wrongly filed, then you cannot correct it after this date. You have to take condonation of delay, which is not an easy way to get that. So don't forget this date. Better you file the return by 30th September, if not by 31st Jan at least. Now, any of this return which has been filed, whether original or belated, if you think that some mistake you have done intentionally or unintentionally and which you want to rectify, then you can file revised return. It is section 139(5). And here also the last date is 31st December 2021. But because of COVID, 1 month extra is given, which is 31st Jan 2022. If you will cross this date, then do remember that you cannot file return of income of this year then, because it is the last date now. So don't forget this date, 31st Jan. In fact, I advise you that ignoring COVID situation, the normal revised return or related return date is only 9 months from the end of 31st March of that concerned previous year, which is 31st December. You must file the return of income by these dates. So these 4 are small points which I wanted to discuss. 5th point now. We have 4 or 5 more points. 5th point is new pension scheme. Even if you are not covered under new pension scheme, even if you are covered under new pension scheme, I don't know whether you know or not, for additional contribution in NPS, you get extra deduction. Additional contribution in NPS. What do I mean by additional? Which is over the compulsory deposit, over the compulsory contribution. Government employees must contribute 10% of their salary. It is must in new pension scheme, for which the employees, when they contribute, the employee gets deduction under section 80 CCD 1 for this 10%. But over and above this amount or extra contribution will give you another deduction, and which is under section 80 CCD 1B, and in this the maximum limit is 50,000. That's it. Now what I want to say is that suppose any person is not covered under new pension scheme. Suppose we have senior faculty members who are covered under old pension scheme. They should also invest in new pension scheme. Why I am saying you is that if they will invest 50,000 in 80 CCD, if they will invest 50,000 in new pension scheme, they will get a deduction of 50,000 in 80 CCD 1B. And if they are senior faculty members, then of course their total income, taxable income must be more than 10 lakh. For more than 10 lakh, tax paid to the government is 30%. But this 50,000 will reduce their income. And technically, do you know what tax saving will happen? Whatever you invest, in 1 year itself, you will get a saving of 15,000 because 30% tax will be saved. Because when you decrease the income, tax will be less. So it's tax rate. Now, simple mathematics says that by investing 50,000, directly you got a cashback of 15,000. So on an average, this is 30%. That means you earn 30% return in 1 year. Do you know of any scheme which gives you 30% return? That by investing 50,000 in 1 year itself, you got back 15,000. So practically you earned 30% on your investment, which is a huge return, and no scheme is giving 30% return overall. And one more thing, it's not that you will not earn in future also, because this 50,000 will be invested in stock market, and this 50,000 will also gradually increase. So not only you have earned 30% in the first year, in future also you will continue earning on this 50,000 investment. So I strongly recommend investing in NPS additional 50,000, because the simple logic is 30% is the time when you will, 30% is the return which you will earn it the moment you invest, because it will help saving tax liability. The next relevant point, Form 26A. Whenever you file your return of income, compare your information which you are filing with your Form 26A. Because income tax department has your data of Form 26A. They can easily check, or their software will automatically check. Now, human intervention is not much in the tax department. Softwares will deal with the tax evasion issues or wherever there are mistakes. So always compare your tax information which you will furnish yourself with your Form 26A, and this form is available in your login. It is available in your login, which you log in through your PAN number and password on the website incometaxindia.gov.in, e-filing website. You can download that. So compare that information. 7th, in this new form, now from this year, we will be having new SFTs, statement of financial transaction. It's known as statement of financial transaction. And we'll be having now, earlier we were 14 SFTs, and now we will be having 15 and 16 more. This will show interest and dividend incomes also. So in your Form 26A, now whatever shares you have, you can easily check that whatever dividend you have received, that is reflected in your Form 26A, as well as interest which banks and other institutions, specified institutions, will provide to the tax department. So your Form 26 will be having the information of interest as well as dividend. So these are small points. Faceless assessment is next point, that now everything will be online as far as assessment is concerned. So no need to visit the tax department, everything is online. And it is expected that now initially there will be some issues, because we are familiar with visiting tax department online, especially those tax consultants. But gradually, entire interaction will be totally online, and no need will be to go to the tax department, where everything will happen online. So this is the new additions in taxation. Correct returns to be filed. Don't provide wrong information to the tax department. The department has their artificial intelligence softwares, or you can say their softwares which now are having huge technical advantage. And earlier there were cases where the department was not in a position to catch the tax evasion issues, but now softwares will not leave anyone. So if you want to have a good sleep, it's my strong recommendation. Being in taxation area, I always advise strongly to everyone that don't evade any information from the tax department if you want to have good sleep. Furnish each and every information which you think you have. You will not save much, but if your case comes in scrutiny and if there are issues, then all the tax savings which have been done by wrong means, those will go waste, because you will be having botheration then if you have not furnished your returns properly. So I strongly advise, and if you are interested in following my advice, then show the information to the tax department correctly. So that is why I say that correct returns to be furnished to the department on time. If you if you don't provide the return on time, then for some days even delay is allowed with fine, but even in those delays, some benefits you will lose. There are so many things which will be given to you only when you file the return of income on time under section 139(1). For an individual, like for all of us, it is 31st July normally. In this COVID, though, it has been increased to 30th September, but we should remember in our mind that we should furnish the return by 31st July. It is my next suggestion. Fees of 5,000 will be charged if you furnish after due date. So if you furnish after 30th September, then you can furnish, but 5,000 fees will be charged. Of course, your total income, if does not exceed 5 lakh rupees, then the fees is only 1,000 rupees. But I'm not discussing those cases. I'm expecting that all of us are having the taxable income more than 5 lakhs. So 5,000 fees will be charged. So better to submit the return by 30th September and every year by 31st July. You must link your Aadhaar if you have not done so. Otherwise, fees will be charged now. Aadhaar with PAN must be linked as soon as possible. And if you have 2 PANs, I strongly advise that you surrender 1 PAN number to the tax department. Disclose the correct information. It's my strong advice. Aadhaar and PAN link must be done immediately. Those who are in the universities or different universities, if they have their syllabus teaching this paper e-filing, or if they have in their subjects income tax where we have practical component of e-filing, syllabus needs to be changed, because in most of the universities in the syllabus they have written Excel and XML Word. Now we don't have this. So if you are in a position to change that, or if you are in a position to convey this information to the departments, I advise that you should have these words with the department that we should change this word, because now we have JSON utility. So we should incorporate now in e-filing JSON utility. This is another thing. One more thing which I would like to show you is that this NPS account can be opened online. That is the good thing. This NPS account you can open online. No need to visit anywhere. Online. Let me show you that website. Online you can open it. For this I need to show you that website. So let me show you that. So let me share that. This is the website of NPS Trust New Pension Scheme. You can see that link, enps.nsdl.com/enps. That's it. So this is the online subscriber form where you have to fill some information, option Aadhaar number, etc., so that you can do yourself, and by mentioning Aadhaar number, generated OPT will come, and then you have to fill the information. Automatically this NPS account will be created online. There is no need to open this NPS account. There is no need to visit any office to open this NPS account. It is online. So that's the thing which I wanted to share with you, so that you can comfortably open this account by sitting at your home. So again, let me come back to my earlier screen. So these are the relevant points of income tax. Like relief of 89, long-term capital gain 112A, over and above 1 lakh exempt, fixed deposit interest to be shown on in the return. Return dates you must not forget. This year date is 30th September, and last date is, even for revised and belated return, 31st Jan 2022. After this date you cannot file the return of income of previous year 2021, except under one situation, under section 119 subsection 2 clause B, where you have to seek the permission of higher authorities for condonation of delay, which is not an easy and simple task. New pension scheme, you must invest additional 50,000 to get a deduction of 80 CCD 1B, and yearly you will earn 30%, which is the best scheme you can say. And NPS account, if you don't have, those who are in the job, they must be having their account because their employers have opened it. Otherwise you can open it yourself online. I have shown the link. Form 26A should be compared before filing the return of income. 2 new additions will be there in this Form 26A this year: interest income as well as dividend income. You can check it yourself. This is like hand-on session. You log in to that website, incometax.gov.in, PAN number, user ID, and simply click your Form 26A. You will get your interest income as well as dividend income. Assessment is faceless now in the tax department. Correct returns you must furnish and on time. I expect that you all must, or I advise that you all must submit your return by 31st July every year. This year, the date is increased, so you have till 30th September. 5,000 fees thereafter, and up to this 31st Jan 2022. After this, even with late filing, you cannot furnish. PAN and Aadhaar must be linked immediately. In the syllabus of e-filing, Excel has to be removed and JSON should be covered. This is what of income tax. And as I told you initially, I wanted you being in commerce and management to have a small idea of GST. And the small idea is that so many taxes are there in GST: IGST, CGST, SGST, and UTGST. IGST is Integrated Goods and Services Tax Act. Integrated. CGST is Central Goods and Services Tax. SGST is State Goods and Services Tax. And UTGST is Union Territory Goods and Services Tax. So whenever you see your slips, always whenever you purchase anything, check that slip. There will be different combinations. So which different options are there on your slip? Either IGST will be there, or CGST and SGST will be there, or CGST and UTGST will be there. That's it. These three can be different combinations which are possible on any slip. So what is this IC, etc., etc.? The reason is that there are two types of sales in GST. Supply is not sale. We are using the word supply. Interstate and intrastate. So what is interstate? What is interstate supply? So we have a concept where location of supplier plus place of supply. These are the two concepts. As a layman, I cannot say that whether it is inter or intra. Just because I'm purchasing something in Delhi doesn't mean that it is inter or intra. So you cannot be having any idea without reading the concept. So I'll not tell you the concepts, but you must know, being in commerce and management, small idea. These two things will help deciding which tax will be imposed. What is the location of supplier and what is the place of supply? If these two are in different states, different UTs, then my supply is interstate and IGST will be charged always. And if these are in same state, oblique UT, then it is intrastate supply. It is treated as intrastate supply, where CGST plus SGST or CGST plus UTGST will be charged. Either this combination or this combination. Either this combination or this combination. That means this is intrastate. Intra. And this is inter. So on what basis you decide which tax will be charged? Whether it is interstate or intrastate supply. Interstate means when location of supplier and place of supply are in different states or UTs, it is interstate. When location of supplier and place of supply are in the same state or UT, it is intrastate. In same states, intrastate, different states or UTs, interstate. Now, so for example, I can say that A small example is that, for example, location of supplier and place of supply. These are different. Location of supplier is in Delhi or is in Haryana, and place of supply is in Maharashtra, for example. Now, since these are in different states, whatever the supply value is, always on the slip you will find IGST. Always, if the value of supply is 1 lakh, and if IGST rate is 18%, so this is the tax, 18,000. Similarly, in the another example, suppose location of supplier is in UP and place of supply is also in UP, then it is intrastate. And suppose my value is 1 lakh. So there in intrastate supply, IGST cannot be charged. So this supply was inter, and this supply is intra. So here I will add CGST, central government, and UP government, state government, SGST. So half of 9,000 tax and 9,000. This is the only difference. Effectively, value remains same. And what is UTGST? Suppose location of supplier is Chandigarh. Chandigarh is a union territory. Place of supply is also a Chandigarh. So it is also what? Intra. And same thing will apply. Value, for example, 1 lakh. CGST, central government, 9,000. Now I will not write S, I will write UTGST because Chandigarh is a union territory. This is the point. Same thing otherwise. And if now one thing you should remember, Delhi and Puducherry, these two are also union territories, but these UTs have their own chief ministers. These UTs have their own legislatures. There are elections in these UTs. So for the purpose of GST, we don't treat Delhi and Puducherry as union territory. These are treated as what? States. So whenever it is a Delhi example, if location of supplier in Delhi, place of supply Delhi, then also I would not have used UT. I would have used the same sentence, state, because Delhi and Puducherry in GST laws is a state, because these UTs have their own legislature. That is why for the purpose of GST, these are not treated as UTs, these are states. So this is the point, and you must remember that always CGST plus SGST, the rates are always equal. So one thing is must be clear in your mind that in any bill, these two cannot be there. Either it will be a state or it will be a UT. So 50-50, that will always be 100% equal. If it is 9% by default, this will also be 9%, always. And similarly, if you will see IGST, it is always the total of CGST plus SGST oblique UTGST. Always. Why? Because across India, we have same GST. The moment these are different, then the purpose of GST defeats, which was there earlier in indirect taxes, when the tax rates were different in different states. Now we have everything equal. So always it will be the total. If IGST is 18, so if you separate it, in this you will find CGST 9% and S or UT, it depends upon case, 9%. Always it will be exactly equal. So this is what I wanted to give you a brief idea of GST. And the last concept, the latest, is very small, international taxation. I would like to tell you a small point of international taxation. So many big companies like Amazon, Google, there have been issues going on for the past 15 years that how to tax these companies, because most of such companies are paying negligible tax, negligible. Not in India, in fact, in US also. Google didn't pay any tax in USA in 10 years continuously. So it's not that they are paying the tax in USA. No, there also they are not paying the tax because of their complex system of showing expenses and income in such a way that they bypass all the provisions of tax laws of different countries and they shift their bases. So we use the concept in international taxation, BEPS, base erosion and profit shifting. They shift their profits and base in such a way in those countries where the tax rates is negligible or zero. So in this direction, recently, G7 countries, G7 means USA, UK, France, Germany, Canada, Italy, and USA, UK, France, Germany, Canada, Italy, and Japan. These 7 countries have recently on 5th June, I think, on 5th June, they have made an agreement. They have decided mutually that there will be a uniform corporate tax rate, uniform of 15%. These corporations have to pay minimum 15% tax. Have to pay minimum 15%. So this is the starting of taxing those companies which are finding the loopholes in the laws of tax laws of different countries and not paying any tax, earning billions, or the revenue is in billions. Apple is having the revenue in billions, but still the tax paid is very, very less. So with this, I simply wanted to discuss this point that now the world over, around 135 countries are discussing this concept of taxing these MNCs, and the discussion is going on since 2013. So this is the first outcome of that discussion, that at least in G7 countries, they have agreed for this corporate uniform tax of 15%. Gradually, we will see more such organizations taxing this. So and this will be the change in the international taxation. So that's all from my side. I hope that I have delivered some new points and new insights to you, but you have to see whether you actually earned or gained something or not. Anyhow, I can be contacted. You are my colleague, so you can contact me anytime on my mail ID, or this is my phone number. For any query or discussion, you can drop me a message. So that's all from my side, and I can only say best wishes. Goodbye. That's all from my side. Thanks.